All right, guys, welcome to another Tuesday at 11 a.m. live stream. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We got some really good feedback from this topic. And as I was kind of putting this topic out there, I thought long and hard about, how I was going to promote it, how I was going to describe it. And, the topic for today is basically how some real estate agents are investing without even really trying. And you guys know I'm a marketer. Of course, when I'm trying to get people to tune in to a live stream, I've got to put out there a topic that's interesting, topic that everyone can benefit from. And I know that there are some of you out there that are probably thinking, how when investing is so challenging and so important and can be so profitable, could anybody ever invest in real estate by accident? I mean, how is it possible that somebody could invest in real estate without really even, putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into it? And I've been coaching people on how to invest in real estate since 2017. And when I started coaching people on how to invest in real estate in 2017, I would coach people who were agents. I would coach people who weren't agents. And what I found is that agents have a much easier time investing in real estate than the general population. I mean, I was a CPA. I worked for a big accounting firm. And I didn't come across investing opportunities in my day-to-day travels, right? Like I had to be focused outside of work in order to invest in real estate. But what I found over the course of time is that real estate agents specifically don't necessarily need to put a ton of time, effort, and energy into investing in order to invest. In fact, real estate agents can sometimes be investors by accident just by having their eyes open. And I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about how agents can invest in real estate without even really, again, putting in a ton of time, effort, and energy, taking time away from their families or taking time away from their agent business. So before I jump into some of these tactics and some of these strategies and exactly how it can happen, I want to first define investing because everybody has, a different interpretation of what investing is. When I think about investing in real estate, I really break it down into two types of investing. Type number one is quick turn investing. And quick turn investing, my definition is a fix and flip, a wholesale, an assignment, something that you're going to be in and out of in less than a year. And then I think about more long-term investing. And I think about investing in an asset, typically a rental asset, that you're going to own for more like 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 years. So I want to be clear when I'm talking about how agents can sometimes invest without even really trying or by accident, that there are ways to invest in quick turn deals for big hits of income and ways to invest passively into bigger, longer term deals by accident. And I'm going to break down and kind of go one by one. So I'm going to talk first about, quick turn investing. And again, the whole premise today is how can agents do it without necessarily putting in a lot of time, effort, and energy. So again, defining the quick turn deals. We're talking about fix and flips. We're talking about assignment deals. We're talking about wholesale deals that agents can do to make quick hits of income. And when we're talking about quick hits of income, I'm talking about making anywhere from $10,000 to $150,000 on these hits, $10,000 to $150,000 on these deals. So let's kind of just jump right into it. When we're talking about doing quick turn deals, we always have to think that there are multiple things that we need. And I define those things as land, labor, and capital. Land being the deal, labor being the construction, and then the capital piece being, of course, money. So if you're going to do a quick turn deal, let's talk about all three of those. And again, how can agents do this stuff without really putting in a ton of time, effort, and energy? So the first thing I want to talk about is land or deals. How do agents come across deals in their day-to-day without actively going out there, spending a ton of time, effort, and energy prospecting for them? The first way is the fact that agents go on listing appointments. So most agents, when they go out to a property that needs a ton of work or a property where a seller wants to sell direct to an investor, most agents are not prepared to put that property under contract. They're not ready. They don't think they can do it, etc. Now, every agent who's listening to this is in a different position. Some of you are going on 1 to 2 listing appointments a week. Some of you are going on 1 to 2 listing appointments a month. Some of you are only going on a listing appointment every 6 months. That's okay. Again, this is just ways that you can do deals that are within the scope of what you do without having to do a lot of tons of time, effort, and energy. So one of the ways that agents can acquire deals without doing anything different is by approaching their listing appointments different. And I will say this, and I've got to say this because there is a big caveat to this. 90% of all sellers are not going to want to sell to investors, okay? So when I say go on a listing appointment and treat it like it could be an investment deal, I want to be very clear. You are not going on your listing appointments saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know you're a retail seller. I know you want top dollar for your house, but you should take a 10, 20, 30, 40% discount. You're not doing that at all. You are looking and keeping your eyes open and identifying opportunities. So I'm going to tell you guys about a real life story about how someone that works with me partnered with me on a deal less than 6 months ago for a net profit of multiple six figures. And actually, we're going to tell this story in much more detail at the Agent Investor event, November 3rd, November 4th. If you have not registered for that event yet, make sure you register today at www.agentinvestorevent.com. But this was an agent whose friend had their mom pass away. So sad event, of course. Listing agent that I know went on that appointment. Property needed a ton of work. It was in a really nice community. And they said, hey, would you ever consider just selling directly, versus listing? And they were actually over the moon ecstatic to consider a cash offer. Why? It's not atypical for somebody who has somebody in their family that passes away, has a house that has a bunch of deferred maintenance, and then they want to just sell easily and quickly. So what this agent did, right, and this is something that all Inner Circle members have the ability to do, is this agent partnered with us on the deal. We renovated the deal, and then we sold the deal, right? They found the deal, which is one of the most important parts about doing deals. And again, we did a profit share split where both people made over 6 figures. Both parties made over 6 figures. Now, why are quick turn deals important? Why is this important to know? Why is this a tool you should have in your agent investor arsenal? Well, most real estate agents don't make 6 figures in a year. Or if they're making 6 figures, they're basically just making about 6 figures, right? So how would you like to double your income potentially on one transaction? Just by approaching your listing appointment a little bit different, right? And again, the whole premise of what we're talking about today is how do we do these deals by accident? How do we do these deals without extra time, effort, and energy? So again, something else that we do for all Inner Circle members is anytime you get a listing appointment, we put together a packet that will explain what our company will pay, so that if you're going to partner with us on the deal, or even if you're not going to partner with us on the deal, what we would pay, so that you can approach that listing appointment with a cash offer. And on November 3rd and November 4th, I'm going to have one of my best acquisition people who goes out on 20 plus appointments per week and offers cash offers, train all of you guys how to take one of those appointments. So again, if you're not registered for the event and you want to know, like, how would I approach a listing appointment with a cash offer? Jared, who's my sales manager, is going to do a 60 to 90-minute presentation on exactly how to run an appointment that way. But I don't want to make that all about today. Today's all about how do you do all this stuff by accident. So if you're an agent and you're just out there and you're going on listing appointments, you want to make sure that you have the ability to offer a cash offer. Again, only 10% of sellers are going to want it. That number may go up as the market softens. We're already seeing that more sellers are interested in cash offers today than they were even 6 months ago. Actually, there's been a pretty dramatic shift. Why? And why are cash offers going to be so much more important to add to your real estate investing business, your real estate agent business, is because sellers now, even if they price their property right, are not guaranteed of a sale 45 to 60 days later. I mean, you talk about March, April, May. You price a property right, you can never guarantee timing on a sale. But you could almost say to a seller, geez, why sell to Tom Caffarello? Why sell cash? You don't need to. I'm going to get you top dollar in 45 to 60 days. That's changing now. And if you're an agent who's had an expired listing lately, and we've had a bunch of properties that were priced right, but the listing expired because the market's changed, having a cash offer in your back pocket is going to be important. So that's one way, right? Again, running the natural course of your business that you can get a deal without doing anything different. Now, how else can agents come across deals without spending any more time, effort, and energy than what they're already doing? Another way is just to be on the lookout when you're working with your buyers, right? And I'm sure that there are people who are listening to this call right now that have gone on appointments with their buyers. Buyer didn't like the property for whatever reason. But that property is a great deal. And that property might be a deal that you should offer on as an investor agent, as an agent investor. Okay. So again, totally in the line of your course of business right now. Not doing anything additional, doing everything that you would normally do, but just keeping your eyes open for opportunities. And those opportunities are going to be far more prevalent today than they were 90 days ago because of everything that has changed. Whereas in the last 12 months, there's been almost no traditional retail sellers on the MLS that really wanted cash offers, that were willing to take a discount. That's going to start happening again. In fact, we've had multiple people, multiple sellers who have their property on the MLS that have reached out to us directly, gone on our website and said, you know what? I know my property's listed, but what would you give me cash? And again, guys, we're talking, the focus here is how do you do investing deals without taking up any more of your time? Let's talk about another way that we can get deals without spending a lot more time. And I'm going to give you guys an example. At my company, at my brokerage, at our sales meetings, we talk about coming soons. Okay. Say, hey, who's got some listings coming up? And because we've got a bunch of investors at our office, when people in our office have a coming soon, a lot of our agents that are investors are always thinking, hey, is this an investment opportunity? And at one of our company meetings, our sales meetings that we have monthly, Chris Martin, who's our team leader, was standing in the room. We had an agent, Ian, who stood up, said they have a 6-family in Haverhill, Massachusetts. For whatever the number is, it was like $600,000. This is a coming soon. Chris stood up and said, hey, could I take a look at that and potentially buy it? Chris bought that deal. Chris bought that long-term buy and hold deal for himself because he had his ears perked up, right? Had that property ended up on the multiple listing service, Chris would have never got it. And this was like a year ago or 2 years ago, maybe at this point, Chris would have never got it. But again, Chris is an agent investor. Chris knows the principles we teach. Chris works at our company. Chris has worked at our company for probably 4 or 5 years now. So Chris was listening, right? Again, how do you do deals as an agent without even really trying? Now, all of you agents, all of you guys, I'm an agent too, by the way. So when I'm saying all you agents, I'm talking about myself too, but all of you co-broke. You all co-broke with other agents. You all have the ability to have conversations with your co-brokes about the fact that you're an investor and you're looking for deals. Jared popped up. He said, I have 30 turnkey high cash flow properties. If your agents are interested, happy to pay a 3% referral of purchase price. Thank you, Jared. If anybody has any interest, you can reach out directly. Getting back to talking to co-brokes, you guys should all be telling your co-brokes, hey, if you have any investment deals, let me know. If you have any investment deals, let me know. Agents are some of the best people to have investment deals. And agents, what's their motivation, by the way? If an agent refers me an investment deal, if it's a fix and flip, there's going to be no co-broke involved, right? I'm not going to co-broke that. They're going to make the full 4, 5, 6%. Then they're going to get a listing on the back end. So that's the type of conversation. And again, this is a conversation. You're talking to these co-brokes anyways. You're talking to all these co-brokes anyways, right? You're talking to them multiple times. Hey, I just want to let you know, I'm also an investor. I flip properties or I buy and hold properties. This is what I'm looking for. I'd love to work with you. The benefit of working with me, of course, is if you get a listing and you bring it to me, I know I'm an agent, but I'm not going to co-broke it. And I know that you're not going to have a million deals that are going to pop up that are going to fit my criteria or that we're going to work on. But keep me in mind if you come across something that you want to let me know about. I'll buy anything. I just want it, here. So again, this is not, you could have this as an entire strategy. You could call agents all day long having the strategy. There are people that have this strategy. But we're not talking about spending 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a week calling agents, prospecting to them that you are an investor and that you want deals. We are talking about doing it passively. We're talking about talking to the co-brokes that you already talk to every day and just explaining to them that you're an investor and you're looking for deals, okay? Another area that agent investors can find deals without putting any extra effort in is in all of these Facebook groups that you're all in. You're all in the Agent Investor Facebook group. I hope you're all in. If you're not, go to www.agentinvestor.com and join our Facebook group. But if you're not in our Facebook group and you're in a bunch of other agent groups, you'll see coming soon. You'll see off-market deals. These deals get posted. These deals could be your next investment deal. Again, I told you guys I started coaching real estate. I started coaching people to invest in real estate in 2017. Compare that to myself, who was a CPA. I wasn't in all these groups. I didn't have co-brokes to talk to. I didn't have anybody to talk to. I couldn't get deals by accident. I wasn't out touring buyers and seeing investment deals right in front of my face. You guys are all doing these things on a day-to-day basis, right? With all you're doing is just tweaking, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, just a little bit, just a little tweak for you to get more deals, okay? I'm going to talk about another way that you guys can get deals. Hey everyone, this is Tom Caffarella. I want to quickly interrupt the podcast to number one, thank all of my loyal listeners of the Agent Investor podcast and tell you guys really quickly about an exciting event we have coming up.
It's a 2-day event. It's called the Passive Income Real Estate Investor Event that you can find out more details at passiveincomeevent.com. We're going to be doing a 2-day training session teaching all of the agents and all of the investors at the event on how to achieve financial freedom through real estate. If you're like me and your goal is to not work 80, 100 hours a week, grinding, selling real estate, flipping homes, definitely check out this event. We're going to teach you how to build a passive income portfolio so that you can retire, so that you can work when you want, how you want, and ultimately achieve financial freedom. So again, go to passiveincomeevent.com for more details, and we look forward to seeing you at the upcoming event.
Your SOI, okay? You all, if you're doing a good job working your SOI, you are posting on social media, you're sending your SOI emails, you're probably sending them mail, you're having conversations with them, whether it's text or phone or email or whatever. Doesn't take any more work to talk to your SOI. Hey, I'm also an investor. I invest in deals. I can help you buy and sell traditional homes and your friends and family traditional homes, but I'm also looking for properties to purchase. Again, whether that's a fix and flip, a buy and hold, whatever. People love to talk about real estate investing. This is another kind of like key takeaway that I want you all to have. There's a big difference in how your SOI will respond. If you reach out to them, and it can be a text, it can be an email, it can be a Facebook message, it can be a call, it can be whatever. When you start talking about investing, their ears are going to perk up. Why? Every human wants to invest in real estate, right? If you guys go to like a Tom Ferry conference or a Mike Ferry conference or anybody that teaches you, Brian Buffini, how do you have conversations with your SOI? They have a lot of creative ways to have conversations with your SOI. But a lot of those conversations and strategies, they're manufactured conversations. They're manufactured, right? They're like, oh, how could I potentially get into a conversation? Which is fine. It's part of sales to do that. But a lot of times when you hear those strategies, you're like, oh, yeah, winter's coming. I could call my client and just be a resource for them in case they need any help. It's like, okay, yeah, I could do that, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. That feels disingenuous. That feels like a call I don't want to make. Reaching out to your SOI to have a conversation, to be like, hey, I invest in real estate. Have you ever thought about investing in real estate? That's a different conversation. Everybody wants to invest in real estate. It's why HGTV is so popular. I mean, I can't even believe, I've been doing this for 20 years. I can't believe people still watch Flip and Flop, all these different HGTV, like flipping houses. It's crazy to me. It's the same episode all over again, right? It's the same thing over and over again. Person finds a house, they start renovating it, they open up a wall, there's stuff that they are just shocked to discover. It looks like the project is going to die. Somehow, miraculously, they put it all together, and in the end, they're profitable. But your clients love it. They'll talk about investing all day long. So there's two areas where I want you guys to think about having SOI conversations that are going to be easy, they're going to be natural, and they're actually going to build better relationships with your SOI, which will probably result in you getting more retail opportunities, but it'll also involve you getting more investing opportunities. Now, we talked in the beginning, if you're an agent investor and you want to either do quick turn deals or you want to do long-term deals, there's a couple things that we need, right? We need deals, we need capital, okay? How many of you all are putting out on your social media that you're not just an agent, but you're an investor? How many people, right? Think about that. I know the number is super low. Like I could look all you guys up on social media right now. And I'm calling, Facebook is the easiest for me. I know there's a lot of other platforms out there. But if I scroll down your Facebook page, is there anything in there that would tell me that you're an investor at all? That needs to be part of your messaging. And it doesn't have to just be on social media. It needs to be part of your messaging in calls, in texts, in emails, in mailers. You're not just an agent. You're an agent investor. Okay? That changes the conversation. That's going to get you more investing deals, right? Because a lot of times, this is going to be something that it's almost hard to believe, but when you're just an agent and you're a retail agent, and especially say you're selling high-priced homes, you're selling $8, $9 million homes, $2 million homes, someone in your SOI, they have a family member that just passed away, they have a really beat up, ugly property, they may call Tom Caffarella, the investor, over you, the agent, because they may think, hey, I don't want to call my friend the agent. They sell $1 million houses. They're probably not even going to want to deal with this one. This is really beat up. And, I kind of want to just sell to an investor. And I'm not even aware that I could do that with my friend, the agent. So are you all putting out there to the world on social media, text, email, mail, whatever, that you're also an investor? Now, when you get into these conversations, we've talked a lot about how to find deals by accident. How can agents just go along their normal course of their day and do more deals by accident? We haven't talked yet about raising capital. Raising capital is a big one, okay? And you don't necessarily need to raise capital to do quick turn deals. Because if you're in the inner circle, you could partner with us, or you could assign or wholesale a deal. Whether you partner with us or you assign or wholesale a deal, you don't need any capital to do a quick turn deal. But you may want to buy and hold, or you may want to buy the property yourself and you may need capital. Now, when you're reaching out to your SOI, first of all, when it comes to raising capital, the people that know, like, and trust you are the most likely people that are going to give you their capital, okay? So again, how do we do it in a way that's not costing us more time? How are we doing it by accident? Well, you're all agents. How many people, and we've got like 20 people live right now, do me a favor, type into the chat box. How many of you have had a client in the last few years that have sold a house and made over $100,000, put $100,000 in their bank account? Do me a favor, type into the chat box just so I can see. I'm curious how many people here type 100K into the chat box if you've had a client in the last 2 years that's made over $100,000 selling a property. All right, I see the me's coming in. So what I want to say to you guys on this is a lot of agents will say to me, my number one problem is I don't have money. Number one problem, I don't have money. Now, I see the chats coming in right now. 100K, 100K. Someone said a bunch did just last year. So my question to all of you guys that are agents, investors, what'd they do with the money? What'd they do with the money? And I'm purposely pausing right now. I'm purposely pausing because I bet a lot of you didn't know what they did with the money. And I bet a lot of you didn't have the conversation about what they're doing with the money. Now, not every one of your clients are going to use that money to invest with you, right? But are you asking the conversation in every sale? Are you asking the conversation on every time, hey, I listed a house, person's mom passed away, person's dad passed away? Well, guess what? They may not have just left them a house. They may have also left them money. Okay. So there's so many instances, whether it's a person that had a job change, whether it's a person who inherited a home, whether it's a person who sold a home, where their capital needs a home. And I'm seeing some of you all type in, they bought another home. Okay, cool. So if they bought another home, they may not invest with you because it might not make sense. But there's a lot of people who sell homes or inherit things or change jobs, right? They get to roll over their 401k into an IRA where they've got money sitting there. And everything we're talking about today isn't about, again, how do you change your entire business? We're talking about how do you identify different opportunities? So are you all prepared that when somebody sells that 3-family in an expensive area and they put $200,000 in the bank, are you all prepared and feel confident to have the conversation about where their capital is going next? And do you have a great reason why they should at least consider maybe investing with you on a deal, right? And if you don't, that's an area you might want to think about working on, right? Now, we talked about some opportunities, right? These are areas where people get money. But have any of you that are listening right now, have any of you called through your database or emailed your database or text messaged your database or Facebook messaged your database and said, hey, my name's Tom. Well, hold on. They know your name. I'm doing like a phone call right now. How many of you have gone through your database and said, hey, I'm hosting this event that teaches people how to invest in real estate. We're going to be teaching people how to do quick turn deals, invest in multifamily properties. Here's the day, the time. Lunch is going to be served, or it's going to be a virtual event. This is how we're going to do it. How many of you have done that? Right? And think about this. Think about this call or text message or email. You're not reaching out to your client to say, hey, how's the weather? Oh, by the way, do you want to buy or sell another house? Right? Which is, again, sometimes how I think SOI is incorrectly trained on. You're reaching out to your client saying, hey, I'm an investor, and not only am I an investor, but I also teach other people how to invest. You have any interest in investing in real estate? Again, I can't put a statistical figure on this, but at least half the people in the world are interested in investing in real estate. It's probably way higher than half. But so half of your clients, if you've got a database of 300 people, you got 150 people in there who want to invest in real estate. Now you invite them to an event, or you just engage them in a 10 or 15 minute conversation. What are you going to get out of that? Well, you're either going to get that they want to invest in real estate, they want to buy assets, they want to own assets. And what does that get you as an agent? It gets you more commissions, right? But you're also going to come across people that they want to invest in real estate, but they don't want to deal with tenants and toilets and hassles. And you're going to come across people that are high net worth, that have enough capital that they don't need to do anything active. So if you've got, say, $1 million capital that needs a home, and work with a company like ours, we can provide you with a 15 to 20% rate of return, right? And this is what you can offer to your clients. It doesn't have to be 15%, it can be 10%. But if somebody has $1 million of capital and you're offering 10% return, they can earn 6 figures passively just by working with you, investing in deals. But you don't know that until you start having the conversation, right? So everybody who wants to invest in real estate is either going to want to be really active or they're going to want to be passive. If they want to be passive and have capital, their money can have a home with you potentially, right? So by having these SOI conversations, you're going to get more transactions. You're going to get more retail transactions. You're going to work with them to find them more multifamily rental homes. You're going to raise more capital, and you're going to enrich the relationship that you have with your SOI. Now, again, does that sound better than doing the standard, hey, the holidays are coming up, let me just give somebody a call and wish them a happy holiday? Nothing wrong with doing that. Not a bad thing. It's not a bad conversation. I know if my agent called me and called me to wish me a happy holiday, I'd be like, what? Why is this happening? This is just weird. That's just me. That's how I would feel. I'd be like, next time they would call, I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but the next time, if they call me and I'm like, hey, and we're having a conversation that doesn't really go anywhere, I don't really know the reason for the call, next time they call, I'm probably not picking up. Honestly, that's me. And there are definitely some people in your SOI that are the same way. But you flip the script and you say, hey, I know I sold you this house 3 years ago. Have you ever thought about investing in real estate? It's a good conversation to have, okay? So we talked about how you all can find deals by accident. We talked about how you can find capital by accident. And these are all things that, again, you can be a very, very active real estate agent. You can be on the hunt for investment deals every day. You can be like me. You can have a marketing budget. You can have a sales team. You can be like active to the max. And you'll make more money and you'll get more deals, no doubt. But you don't have to be super active to be an investor as an agent. And literally, like my shirt, my hat, that is literally the reason I created Agent Investor. Yes, I've helped people scale. I've helped people do big things on the investing side. I've done what I think are pretty big things on the investing side. But you don't need to go 10 out of 10 effort to literally get a 7-figure net worth as an agent, right? And I it's interesting because like the title of today's training, how agents are investing without even trying. It almost sounds like a topic that can't be legitimate. It almost sounds like something that like, hey, that's just a sales pitch. But we just went through all the different ways, right? That agents can spend almost no additional time above and beyond what they're doing and do more deals. I actually had a conversation with somebody the other day, just to give you guys another example. Had a conversation with somebody the other day. They're like, hey, I want to find, some discounted multifamily assets to buy. I said, okay, cool. What are you doing? He said, nothing. I'm looking on MLS. I can't find any deals. So we get to talking and I said, well, what do you do as an agent to find properties? They said, oh, I spend, 3 hours a day on the phone. I make 150 calls a day. I'm like, geez, wow, that's a lot of calls. Like most people don't make that many calls in a day. I said, who are you calling? They said, FSBOs and expireds. I said, that's awesome. Why don't you call the multifamilies that you want to buy? And that sounds like such a simple thing, and it really is, but they hadn't thought of it. So instead of calling a FSBO and an expired, that will get you more listing opportunities, but he's probably calling on mainly single families. He doesn't want to buy single families. So why not just say, hey, I'm going to tweak this. I'm still going to make 150 calls a day, but instead of calling single families and condos, I'm going to call multifamilies. And the interesting thing about that was not only will that not take him more time, but it's actually indirectly going to probably raise his price point because we talked about it in his market. He's in Maryland, and we talked about what's the price point for a single family, what's the price point for a multi. The multifamily price point's higher. I'm like, this is crazy. You may have been better off calling the multifamilies anyways, even if you just wanted listings, because you're going to get your price point up $100,000. And oh, by the way, FSBOs and expireds are pretty tough, right? Because what is a FSBO telling you? And I know people convert FSBOs, right? So I'm not knocking calling FSBOs, but by definition, FSBOs are telling you that they don't want an agent, right? And by definition, as soon as you become a FSBO, a million agents call you. So it's just small tweaks. And this is what I want all of you to kind of wrap your brain around, is that being an agent investor doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't have to mean that you spend 50 hours a week investing. It doesn't even have to mean you spend 10 hours a week investing. It may not even mean that you spend more than 2 more hours a week investing. It may just literally mean that you're tweaking some of the stuff you're already doing. You're just having different conversations. You're posting different things. You're mailing different things. You're emailing different things. And like we talked about in the beginning of this conversation, this doesn't mean that you're going to do less retail deals. In fact, this might get you to do more retail deals, which is the crazy part. So with all of that being said, you guys all have to make a choice, right? Are you going to implement some of the strategies that we talked about today? You don't have to implement them all, right? All you have to think about is, what am I doing, in my day-to-day where a little small tweak could get me another 1 or 2 investing deals a year, right? So if we're talking about doing this pretty passively, this isn't going to get you to do 50 more investing deals a year. But this might get you to do 1 or 2 or 3 investing deals a year. And back to kind of the big claim that I just made about 5 minutes ago, I talked about the fact that like 7 figures. And it's a big number, right? 7 figures is a big number. Again, I hate to kind of make claims because automatically when I make a claim, somebody, will say, oh, it's a scam. It's too crazy. Like it's too much money. But I always work backwards from the dollar amounts, right? So we're talking about, how do you get to 7 figures by accident? Okay. How do you get to 7 figures without even putting in a ton of time, effort, and energy? Well, what if by doing the stuff that we talked about today, you just bought 1 investment deal a year that you held on to? Over the course of a 5, 6, 7, 8 year period, between rents going up, between equity increases, between debt pay down, you'd have $1 million net. You'd be worth $1 million at least in a 5, 6, 7, 8 year period. Again, we're talking about doing this by accident, right? Most agents are spending 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week to make 6 figures a year, or trying to make 6 figures a year. Yes, I know there are some people on here. I see some names. I know there are some people here that make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. I see you're out there. But how do you get to $1 million net worth? You only need to buy a couple a year, 1 or 2 a year. Now, what if you also did 1 fix and flip deal a year that you partner with us on because you're in the inner circle? And let's just even say that deal made you $25,000. $25,000 a year that you invested every single year over the course of like a 10-year period, that's $250,000. And again, that's all money that you wouldn't have gotten anyways. The deal I talked about in the beginning of this presentation, the deal where the person in the inner circle went on the appointment and each of us made 6 figures. That's not typical. That's more than normal. But they did nothing else, right? They would have made maybe $15,000 as a commission. They made $150,000 because they partner with us. Again, not all deals are going to be that good. But I want you guys really to get into the mindset. And the more that you can be around us, this is why I pitch, the Agent Investor event, because it's a 2-day event where this stuff is going to be in your brain over and over again. You need to get to the point where you don't have to think about identifying investment opportunities. It's so ingrained in your brain that as soon as you see it, you think about it. As soon as you have a client that sells their house that's making $200,000, you're not even thinking about having the conversation about what they're doing with the money. You're having it almost before you even think, right? You want to make sure that all your social media has something to do with investing. It doesn't have to be every post, right? But if you're out looking at a multifamily, even for a client, hey, like this is the multifamily opportunity that we looked at today. These are the numbers. This is what we're thinking. Oh, by the way, guys, like if you have anything for sale, let me know. It's just all passive stuff that you guys can kind of do, each and every day over and over again. And again, for those of you who have not scheduled a call to learn more about the Inner Circle, you can do that by going directly to www.agentinvestorinnercircle.com. Again, that's www.agentinvestorinnercircle.com. And you can schedule a day and time. It's really a strategy session where we cover kind of what your problems are, what your goals are, and how we can help you get there. It might be a fit to join the Inner Circle. Like if you wanted to take advantage of the partnership, if you want to take advantage of the fact that you can reach out to me directly any day, anytime about anything. And there's a lot of other benefits with the Inner Circle. But if you're just curious about what it would look like to work with me specifically more, just go to www.agentinvestorinnercircle.com and schedule a day and time where we can talk. But in addition to that, make sure that you guys are at the event next Thursday and Friday, November 3rd, November 4th. It's going to be completely free. Sign up, register, show up, spend the 2 days, get this stuff in your brain, start implementing it in your life. At the event, we're going to talk about like how do you determine what the most important 3 or 4 things that you should be focused on are, which is something that's huge, right? Even as I just covered a lot of different things today, and another one even popped into my head. And I was just about to wrap, but I'm going to give it to you guys anyways because it just popped in my head. So when I first started investing and I needed capital, I was with Keller Williams, and they used to have a monthly sales meeting, and they would give people the ability to kind of talk. And what I used to do, and I used to raise capital like this and get deals like this. I used to go around to the different market centers and tell people, hey guys, I'm an agent, but I'm also an investor. And I wanted to let you know that I've got I want to buy discounted deals if you've got, properties off market. And I also have a program where if you're interested in investing passively, let me know. And they would only give me 3 minutes to have that conversation. But I would do it because I would go in front of a crowd of maybe 15 to 30 people, depending on how big the market center was. And I am not even kidding when I say I should probably still do this. It's just I've been so busy, 4 kids, this, that, the other thing. But I would always get business out of it. I would always get business, not necessarily always that day. But I would always get somebody down the road that would be like, hey, I just got this listing. Would you be interested in making an offer? Or, hey, I know somebody that's got some capital that's interested. That's the other thing not to sleep on, right? Agents that are connected to me refer me capital all the time. Hey, I have no interest in investing with you, but my uncle does, my cousin does, this person does. What do you have available? So again, you guys aren't going to learn everything today that you need to implement all these things. Make sure you register for the event, www.agentinvestorevent.com. And I'm really excited about this event. We've got 400 people registered. We should get about 350 that will show up. We've been doing all the confirmations and everything. We've got multiple people, and this is exciting to me. Probably 20% of the audience is flying in from all different parts of the country, California, Florida, Vegas, Utah, places that are far. So I'm only saying that because it's been making me feel good that, I've been able to get an audience that's not just local, but people that are all over the country. So anyways, guys, definitely don't sleep on any of this stuff. If you have questions on how to implement any of these strategies, make sure you jump on that Agent Investor Inner Circle call at www.agentinvestorinnercircle.com, and we can talk more about how to implement these strategies into your business. And guys, thank you for watching. We will have another episode for you next Tuesday at 11. But more importantly, make sure you're at the event. All right, thank you.
Thanks again for listening to the Agent Investor Podcast. And especially thank you for sharing the show with other agents and reviewing the show on iTunes. Every time you share the show and leave a review, you are potentially changing someone's life. To get free weekly education, strategies, and to connect with other agent investors across the country, join our free Facebook group at agentinvestor.com. Again, that's agentinvestor.com.